What up, everybody? It's Blackwing 2040. Happy New Year, and welcome to yet another Dekaranger review video. You thought I was done, but turns out I had another one planned. I just wanted to keep it as a little secret surprise for you guys. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the movie Space Squad Uchu Keiji Gavan versus Tokuso Sentai Dekaranger, which is basically Space Sheriff Gavan versus Dekaranger. And trust me, I was on the fence about reviewing this one, but I figured, it's part of Dekaranger content. I might as well do it. Now, this is like my second time watching this movie. And I gotta say, on a second rewatch of this film, it's actually pretty solid. Not just the action alone, but just like understanding the characters itself. And before I go into like the detail of the movie, I could tell you this movie is directed by the one, the only, the GOAT of tokusatsu, Mr. Koichi Sakamoto. For those who are not in the know of who Koichi Sakamoto is, this man has contributed so much to the tokusatsu genre. He's done so many things. He's directed episodes, a whole lot of episodes in Power Rangers. If you look up his history on Power Rangers, he has been a behind-the-scenes executive producer for the franchise for many, many years. And I appreciate everything that he's done for Power Rangers. Without him, Power Rangers wouldn't be the titan that it is today. And of course, all the other individuals that's worked on the show as well. He's also done other Super Sentai stuff. He's directed some episodes of Kyoryuger. He's directed some Sentai movies. He's directed episodes of Kamen Rider, some Kamen Rider films, and he's also directed some Ultraman stuff as well. But when it comes to Koichi Sakamoto, his work is always phenomenal. He never fails when it comes to the action and the style of the camera work. When he films things, you already know, you could tell what his style of direction is. And what I mean by that is when you have like a fight scene that's going on and the camera is tilted, that is one of Koichi's styles of directing. And of course, the explosions. When it comes to toku movies, when you see a whole ton of explosions, that's Koichi. It's like Koichi's like the Michael Bay of toku films. But other than that, let's go on with the movie itself. This movie is more so a crossover between Dekaranger and Space Sheriff Gavan. For those who don't know, Space Sheriff Gavan is part of a franchise that Toei used to produce called Metal Heroes. They haven't really, it's pretty much a dead franchise as of this year. And they tried many ways to resurrect it. They gave Gavan a New Generation Gavan movie back in like 2012. And they also gave some of the other Space Sheriffs some New Generation movies. But it's a franchise that really hasn't been able to like reach that level of popularity like with Kamen Rider and Sentai. But it's well known. It's just like on the lesser known side. So with me going into this movie, I have very little experience with Metal Heroes. I've only been exposed to Gavan. I've watched one episode of the original Space Sheriff Gavan show. This movie has Gavan's successor, who goes by the name of Geki Jumonji. And of course, you have the original Gavan, who is Retsu Ichioji, also played by Kenji Oba, who played Gavan way back in the 80s. So this, just for the Metal Hero side of things, I was very in the dark because there's a whole lot of references to the Metal Hero franchise. So if you're someone watching this movie for the first time and trying to understand certain things, especially with the Metal Hero franchise, you're going to be in for like a loop, and most of the things are just going to be like, phew, it's going to go over your head a lot. So that's one thing. But of course, with the Dekaranger side of things, I'm full knowledge about who the Dekarangers are. And also a special thing that's happening in this movie, Umiko and Senchan are getting married. They're finally getting married after by this point, this movie came out in 2017. After 13 years since their show ended, these two characters are getting married, which is nice. It's just very nice. You had them kind of hint at a relationship in the show, and then in the Dekaranger 10 years after movie, they're actually dating, and now here we are, they're getting married, which is nice. Bon is still also part of Fire Squad, which is also dope to see. And Jasmine and Hoji and Tetsu are still part of the Dekaranger crew. Tetsu is still acting chief of Dekaranger. And as much as I thought that Tetsu didn't get that much screen time, he did have a fair share of screen time, and so did Doggy, but they did get a fair share of action in this movie, because when you look at the poster of this movie, you see Geki, aka Gavan, as well as the main Dekaranger teams on the poster. You don't really see much of action with Tetsu or Doggy, but they do get their fair share of action in this movie, and I'm glad about that. Now, that's one of the key factors of this movie, is the action. The fight scenes, the cinematography of this movie, it is mind-blowing. It's just like they have such a bigger budget. This kind of thing you can't necessarily get in a Sentai episode or a Kamen Rider episode, to a certain extent, but with a movie like this, it's like you could do whatever you want. And I could definitely say this movie is really, really raw. If anything, I would recommend watching Dekaranger to get yourself fully immersed with these characters first, to know what's happening in this movie. And for the Metal Hero side, if I'm being honest, since I don't have that much experience with Metal Heroes, definitely watch Space Sheriff Gavan. It's also available on DVD, so you can definitely check it out. And I would say watch the Gokaiger versus Gavan movie. That was kind of like, that movie was celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Metal Heroes and Gavan as a whole. But just to get a better understanding of Geki, who the successor of Gavan is, you would have to watch the Space Sheriff Gavan movie, which came out in 2012. I'm not sure where you could find it, that one, but that one is new to me because I still haven't watched it to this day. I'm just pushing it out because that's where Geki made his first appearance, and he also made a few appearances in Tokume Sentai Go Busters. Now, I know this review has been very all over the place. I'm just mainly speaking on how I'm well versed with Dekaranger, just not more so the Metal Hero side of things. But all in all, Koichi does a really good job with this movie. I enjoyed it. The action is 10 out of 10, and it is just straight up raw. And to the point where we see, kind of like with Bon and Geki when they interact with each other, Geki is more so the hothead, just like how Bon was back in the beginning of Dekaranger. And with Bon giving Geki the pep talk, it's just like everything comes full circle, because Bon has went through so much development over the years, from going to a hothead to a calm, cool, collected commander for Fire Squad. And I love that. That was really, really dope. And that's really more I can say about this movie. It's nonstop action, really great character interactions with both Gavan and the Dekarangers, and I had a blast with it. So in the comment section below, you guys, if you have seen this movie, tell me what you think of it. And I appreciate all the support that you guys have given for the Dekaranger reviews. I'm definitely going to be leaving them right here so you guys can check them out. The Dekaranger review, the Dekaranger movie review, and also the 10-year after special for Dekaranger. All that's going to be left right here. And stay tuned as the year goes on, because I'm giving you guys Toku reviews straight up, because the next Toku on the list is going to be Chojin Sentai Jetman. I'm looking forward to watching Jetman. That's going to be like my third time watching this show. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. So as always, don't forget to follow me on all my socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to be notified. But until then, guys, I'm Vengeance, I'm Darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden.